Well, we have another tropical storm on our hands. Tropical storm Michael formed today and now has 50 mile per hour max sustained winds, and it's located here just southeast of Cozumel. So we're seeing it spinning around, likely to make its way through the straits between the Yucatan Peninsula and Cuba, where it's likely to dump some very heavy rain, especially in western Cuba. Both of these areas have tropical storm warnings already in place. And guess what? It is slated to head towards the northeast Gulf Coast, so that includes the Florida Panhandle, and then making its way across Georgia as we head in through the middle of the week, with some potentially very heavy rainfall. So let's talk about the timing of this then. There is Michael, max sustained winds at 50, slowly moving right now to the northeast at 3 miles per hour. We do expect it to pick up its pace. There are the tropical storm warnings that you see in orange in the Yucatan and in Cuba, where they're expecting to see 1.5 feet of rain potentially as Michael moves through. And it's going to be strengthening because it's going to be moving into a favorable environment with very warm waters and very little shear. So everything that it needs to strengthen quickly is present. So we'll likely see it strengthen into a hurricane as we head into late Monday night and into early morning on Tuesday. Then notice how it moves up towards the Florida Panhandle. By that point, it could easily be a Category 2
storm, 100-mile-per-hour winds before making landfall somewhere in the Panhandle.
Likely to become a hurricane later on today and strengthen to a Category 2 storm by tomorrow into tomorrow night, taking aim along the Florida Panhandle. The exact track obviously still a cone of uncertainty, but puts the entire Panhandle in the path from the Big Bend over towards the Alabama border, likely to make a landfall as a Category 2 weakening to 1 hurricane.
To help you, but do not wait. If there's an evacuation order, go to safety. If you're on the fence, don't think about it. Do it. This storm can kill you.
Hurricane Center is lifted now. The status of the storm to a Category 3, and it's a mid-level Category 3. We're only 10 miles per hour away from a Category 4 status, more force than we had with Florence. Completely different storms. Some rapid intensification. Now we're at 120, and we've got gusts up to 150 miles per hour. We're 295 miles south of Panama City. National Hurricane Center picks and chooses their wording very carefully. Life-threatening inundation. Today, they use the word historic. Only 3 major hurricanes make landfall in the Panhandle of Florida. You've got to go back to 1975. It was Eloise. 20 years later, in 95, it was Opal. 10 years later, 2005, Dennis. But all 3 of those were west of Panama City.
Someone said it was 2 miles from a Category 5. I guess this is what they call devastation. I've seen on TV, other places, and here I am sitting in it, and you know, I feel all those folks' pain through the years, and I guess when you live on the coast, there's a price to be paid for that.
Hurricane Michael is now a very dangerous Category 4 storm. No Category 4 storm has ever hit the Florida Panhandle, ever. This is going to be the strongest storm.
When I went out of my home, it was about 3:30 yesterday afternoon, and I had the only home in our 2-block neighborhood that was either still there or didn't have significant damage. I've lived here since 1953, so I know so many of these people. I was fortunate to be raised by the founding families of this city, and we've got a great spirit, and we'll be, we don't think we will, but we'll be all right.
About 5 feet deep.
It has been 5 weeks since Hurricane Michael devastated the Florida Panhandle, with winds topping 150 miles an hour and that huge surge of seawater. In the hardest hit areas, people are still living in tents and under tarps. We were there in the middle of it, and so was Omar Villafranca when the storm hit. He is back tonight with an update.
Block after block, giant piles of debris are rotting on the sidewalks in Panama City, and officials say it might not be cleared until the end of the year. Hurricane Michael slammed into the Panhandle 5 weeks ago, killing nearly 30 people and destroying thousands of homes and businesses. Recovery here has been slow. More than 95,000 people in the disaster zone have asked FEMA for help. So far, just over 25,000 have been approved for housing assistance. A FEMA official told CBS News other applicants are waiting for insurance claims to be processed before they're approved for federal help. FEMA says the first mobile housing unit should arrive next week.
Do you kind of feel that people have forgotten about you?
Yes, I do.
Panama City Mayor Greg Brudnicki says the city is trying to move forward, but admits it's going to take a long time to rebuild.
Do you still need help?
We bet you we need help. We were not planning on a catastrophic event that was going to absolutely carpet bomb this area, and it happened.
This is a common scene here in Panama City. Homes that have been damaged but haven't even been worked on yet. The mayor says less than half of the debris has been removed. And Jeff, there hasn't been any big benefit concert or telethon for victims, so the city started its own nonprofit to try to raise money for its own recovery efforts.
Okay, Omar, thank you very much.